sure you're ready for this?
I'll do my best.
Your best? Losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and the prom queen.
Welcome to the best soccer show. The best soccer show in the whole world.
Here we go. It's the best soccer show. Jason Davis, Jared Dubois with you on a Sunday evening. And we have to interrupt this fun soccer podcast intro to go to immediately to our correspondent, Jared Dubois.
Uh-oh.
America in crisis. Christian Pulisic,
tell me about it.
Hamstring injury. Jared Dubois, we go to you now. Your analysis.
That's the American crisis you're worried about?
For me, that's the most important American crisis right now.
I saw the reports that he mailed in his ballot. I'm just more wondering who he did it for. That's the American crisis. And
we do not want to go down that rabbit hole. Trust me.
Well, I mean, his team is blue.
Well, that might be the only thing about him that is blue. Let's move on. Let's quickly move on to other things, okay? I mean, we may have people out there listening to this program who don't necessarily bleed blue. It's fine. It's what it is.
No, that's absolutely fine. I don't bleed blue. I'm not a Democrat. I am not a Democrat for people that don't know.
I don't actually want to talk politics.
I just let people know. They're wrong. I'm a dirty pinko commie liberal, but I'm no Democrat.
We are here to talk about American soccer. And I feel like, well, there are other things, and you lived your life for a week and I did too. And we always like to, kind of review some of those things. I call you in the middle of the week. Well, you were taking a nap this week. Is that right? You were taking a nap last week.
Dude, some of us wake up really early in the morning and go to work. I'm just letting you know that. Multiple times a week. I'm not working from home.
Let me ask you a question real quick. If you had my schedule and you worked from home, and for anybody who doesn't know, I do a radio show. Jared, did you know I had a radio show?
Your schedule, is that like 2 hours of work a day?
Do you know I have? First of all, do you know I have a radio show?
I do. Unfortunately,
I have a radio show. My schedule is I work from 12 to 3 on the radio. Now, don't take that to mean I don't do any other work during the day, because
watching soccer games, that's tough.
Yeah, that ain't it either. Okay, there's more prep to this than you. Well, whatever. You don't do anything. You've been doing this show for 10 years. You've never prepped a show in your life.
Right now, off screen, I'm doing the more prep I've done in months for the bonus show today.
For the bonus show, which we're gonna get to later, or we'll tell you about later. But if you had my schedule, 12 to 3 on the radio, what would your wake-up call be? What time do you think you would get up every morning?
12 to 3?
12 to 3.
Wait, you have a kid, so I know it can't be what I would like. If I was a 22-year-old dude in college having your schedule, like I would be waking up at 11:30.
Okay, you'd be terrible at your job, but yes, that's possible. Yeah.
I mean, like I only wake up like 45 minutes before my job now.
Well, that's because you can roll in and your job happens in your office that you go to and all your work is there. I have to get up and prepare to talk. I talk for 3 hours on the radio. I don't do that all off the top of my head. There's actually some work that goes in.
Hey, listen, I didn't come on here to make you defend your job. Okay.
I just thought you would get up.
I mean, I would get up when my kids get up. I mean, which would be, I'd probably be, my kids start school at 7. Excuse me, at 8. So 7:30.
Okay. My kid starts at 7:30. He's also 12, so he can take care of himself, make breakfast for himself, do everything he needs to do to get ready for school. I barely have to check on him. I usually get up about 7:30 or 8. I get up after he's already attached to his computer in the COVID-19 pandemic distance learning environment. But then I just, so 8 o'clock. I think that's reasonable human being time.
That's a normal human being time to be awake.
You made it sound
on
like
the weekend.
I'm some sort of lazy ass bum sitting around doing nothing.
I'm telling you right now, most people that have to go into a job don't get to go up at 8.
That's probably true. I do not have a commute.
So you're fortunate. I get it. And listen, if I got to work from home, I would probably get to do some stuff like that too.
Okay. How much do we worry about Christian Pulisic's seemingly chronic hamstring issues, Jared? Honestly,
is that what it is this weekend though? I don't know there was a hamstring. It looked like he turned his ankle.
It was as far as I read, it was okay. Well, we have some confusion on whether or not.
I did not read a report. I only watched the highlight of him getting hurt.
Okay,
in warm-ups.
He got hurt in warm-ups. He did not play. That's what I know.
Okay. Yeah, when I looked at it, it looked like he had a footing issue. Maybe that footing issue resulted in him like hurting his hamstring. That's possible if he didn't have good footing and his legs stretching the way it was supposed to. But when I looked at it, that's the kind of thing I usually associate with an ankle issue. But I have no idea what the actual issue is. But he walked off under his own power and didn't look like he had a severe limp or anything like that. I'm guessing right now it's just a tweak of some kind. But if it's his hamstring, though, I do have concerns like you're saying.
So, I think that where I'm at with it, first of all, nothing matters in the world. So why would I care about this very much? You know what I'm saying? Like, there are other things in my life that are more important. But if I'm caring about this, and certainly I want Christian Pulisic.
You should care about your red-blooded American that likes soccer.
I do. I definitely do. I was just kind of putting it in context. I am concerned. Like, if you ask me to rate this 1 to 10, my concern, I'm thinking it's a 5, 5.5. Like, I understand this is another instant of it pulling his hamstring. Maybe
here's the thing:
FA Cup final. But here, real quick, my concern is lessened by the fact, I know he's the one, right? He is the unicorn. He's the one who pulls the strings. He's the most dangerous player that the U.S. men's national team has.
Yeah,
I'm less concerned because of the other talented players coming through. Does that make sense? If this was prior to Gio coming through at Dortmund, if this was before some of the things that have happened over the last 6 months happened, I think I'm freaking out. I'm not freaking out. I'm half freaking out. Does that make sense?
I'm freaking out just in terms of I understand what you're saying. I'm old enough to remember John O'Brien. And that's where my brain inherently goes with this kind of stuff.
Ew.
Well, because a lost great player of a generation that couldn't be injury free.
I'm only old enough to remember Stuart Holden. I'm not old enough to remember John O'Brien. Just Stuart Holden for me.
Yeah, but we've always had those players, and to be fair, all national teams have those players, but. Sure. We've had less of those premier level players in our history. And when you have one at Christian Pulisic's level and he's struggling with the same thing over and over again, my mind instantly goes to someone like John O'Brien, who we did not get as much out of as we could have as a national team due to these types of things.
Certainly. Okay, this is a thing we haven't pulled out in a very long time on the show. Certainly not since we've been back as the Best Soccer Show. But do you remember?
Take us to DEFCON 3.
Oh. When we had the DEFCON system. Now, this used to be something we would talk about with just the how you felt about the national team. Like, were you confident about them doing well? And
when you were on the edge of not making a World Cup.
Right. Well, this is even prior to the last cycle. This is back in the day when we were making World Cups and we were still like, oh, okay. If you had to put a DEFCON number on this, Jared, if you had to tell me like where on the DEFCON scale you are, where are you? Because DEFCON,
you have to remember the DEFCONs because they're reversed, right?
DEFCON 1 is like we
are at DEFCON 1.
We're going to war. We're ready. We're like freaking out here.
It's weird because you would think it would get more severe the higher it gets, but actually, it's priority 1 is like the highest, like the worst thing that could happen. It's like golf. You want a low score is more important.
So there are actually terms for this, and I don't want to make this too militaristic, but my dad was in the Air Force. I'm fascinated by these things. There are terms. So DEFCON 5 is in an exercise term, like when they do, it's called fade out. DEFCON 4 is double take. DEFCON 3 is roundhouse. DEFCON 2 is fast pace. DEFCON 1 is cocked pistol. Pistol.
I appreciate that you gave me these things because I would throw it as a double take.
Okay.
Like, okay, that happened again. A little bit nervous, but I don't think it's severe. I still think he's the best player. I think he's gonna have plenty of stuff ahead of him. But I'm giving it a double take.
Okay, that's. I think that's about right for me. Again, first of all, we don't have a competitive match until June. He will potentially miss out on the November friendly on the 12th against Wales, and that's the only game we got scheduled. By the way, BD Smokey, is freaking out. He's freaking out. I don't know. Is it okay? Actually, maybe you think about it this way too, because he's had Greg Berhalter's had so few opportunities to get the whole team together. Like we haven't been all in the same place at the same time. Everybody's hurt.
That's my bigger issue right now.
And then we've had this whole layoff in the COVID-19 calendar. That might make it worse because
you remember a year ago when there was those camps where where Pulisic was there and Weston McKennie was there, but Tyler Adams never was because he was hurt.
By the way, Tyler Adams got a little tweak too. Just a little tweak. Another little tweak for him.
And so I am nervous when it comes to Christian Pulisic and Tyler Adams because those two players seem to have issues with staying healthy. Now, who knows if those are long-term or not, but I am nervous that we had this this opportunity against Wales coming up to get the whole Super Friends together, to like Batman, Robin, the Flash, Wonder Woman. I don't know who that is, but Wonder Woman, like we got them all there to see like how much good in the world we can do.
Yeah.
And now I'm worried that Batman ain't going to be there.
Yeah, well,
wait, is he the Batman or is he the Superman?
I think he's the Superman. I think Pulisic has to be the Superman, and I think Gio has to be the Batman.
Are you saying Gio's got no powers himself? He only has Gio only has the ability to use other weapons and props. Looks like we may have had Jason drop out there real quick, but he's coming back in.
That was wild. I don't know.
Hey.
And now I'm on the side.
Oh, there you go.
You felt.
All I know is that Christian Pulisic hacked the system because he didn't like that you called him. No, Gio hacked the system. Claudio hacked the system because he didn't like that you called his son Batman.
Come on, that's not bad.
You're saying Gio's only got tricks and gadgets, no actual superpowers.
No, I'm just saying he's the second best one. That's what I'm saying.
Man, is Batman the second best super friend?
Well, now I don't even remember who are in the Super Friends. So
it's DC. I mean,
I know.
He's no Aquaman.
Everybody thinks DC is kind of low rent, right?
He's no Aquaman, dude.
That's
sure.
Fair, by the way, that DC is low rent, or just because Marvel made all the movies, now people are like sleeping on.
Here's the problem: DC made a character in Superman with that really has way too many powers. So DC always gets kind of like, oh, that's not interesting. This dude's got way too many powers.
Superman, if you know your comic book history, predates DC. Okay, I don't want to get into all that. Never mind.
I know.
Yeah,
amazing comics.
Yes, I know. And a couple of Jewish guys from Cleveland invented Superman. If you remember your comic book history,
I read Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were from Cleveland, which is the greatest thing come out of Ohio for sure.
Superman. Oh wow.
Definitely not Skyline Chili. We know that. Like, we don't need any of that. But look, Super Friends not coming together. Obviously a problem. It could be the Avengers, by the way. I don't know why you went.
We'll see. But here's the thing: with only 8 days away. What is the to 12th? Right. That's the date.
Yeah,
okay. Sorry, 11 days away.
11 days.
Or 10 by the time you guys are listening to this. Does Chelsea release him?
That's a good question. Well,
no matter what the situation is, if he is not well enough to play in the game, do they feel confident in letting him go for this cycle?
Well, they're going to ask not to. They don't have a choice if he wants to.
I know it's a fixture date, but still, you know how it goes.
He can get on the tube and get there. Like that's the thing. Like the game is there. It's in London. But you're right. I mean, I think he would be there, but he might not participate in that way. We do have a phone call. Let's go to Ray from Milwaukee who wants to jump in here. Ray, what's happening, man?
Yeah, is Christian Pulisic just a Theo Walcott in disguise? And is USMNT national team really more talented than David Beckham, Lampard, Paul Scholes, and Steven Gerrard in their golden generation?
Do we have to ban Ray from the show?
And they're more known for they're more known for missing a major tournament with that talent than winning anything.
This is a good point. The England
is his question: is our golden generation better than that English generation?
No, I think he's just. I don't think he's saying it quite there yet, but I do think he's making some comparisons. That they had a trio of midfielders. They also had Theo Walcott, and he just never. By the way, that I don't know. That Michael Owen also kind of fits in there a little bit. If you want to be, Michael Owen had his injury issue. Go ahead.
I would be happy to have England's problems in late '90s, early 2000s.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. I think we'd be okay with that. But you're right. They did miss a tournament, right? So there's that too.
Wait, I just realized that.
That's all I would say.
Well, thanks for that. I appreciate that. But I just realized Nick put a picture up on the Twitter, and he didn't tell either of us he was taking a picture. So he's got a thumbs up with a smile.
Yes, I did, Jared. You were not paying attention.
Oh, was this that one of those times when you were talking before the show?
Yes. Jason even said we should do a Bond theme. He even posed like James Bond, and you just looked off on the screen like nothing was happening.
Was preparing for the bonus show.
But one time I would prepare something for the show, a picture.
It's wild. I don't know what's happening anymore. Okay, let's. Ray, do you have anything else to add on this? Okay, Ray's gone. Ray's not here anymore. He was talking about Pulisic, and now he's gone.
I ran him off.
That's fine. So let's move on from the troubling situation with Christian Pulisic's hamstring or whatever and talk about the rest of the Americans playing abroad, because obviously there are a lot of other talented players over there right now, Jared, and we should give them some attention as well. How else do you feel? I mean, Weston McKennie playing an engaged role, like an assist with by the way, definitely should have taken the shot, right? 100% should have taken the shot.
I don't think his angle is good the way the keeper. I think the keeper came out really well to block down the angle. Okay, well, and I think the better option was to pass there.
Okay, if you're going to give it to somebody, at least give it to somebody who's world class and can put the ball in the net, because that's not a high percentage shot from Morata.
Morata's also world class at being offside. So we got to be careful there too.
And they did whistle it offside initially, right, before they ended up giving it to him. But I think
he's the new Filippo Inzaghi.
The question we had from our besties in the Patreon or in the Slack from the Patreon subscribers is, what do you make of it that he's playing a more advanced role? I mean, I'm not saying he's playing, he's not playing a 10, but he is kind of more up the field. And
were they even playing a 4-3-3? I'm trying to figure out. He was on the right side in an advanced position. I want to say he was like on the right side of a 4-3-3 up front, but he came into the middle quite a bit too.
Yeah, he did drop quite a bit. I mean, it's not like he wasn't doing what he naturally does on some level. But
definitely, I mean, he was not playing in the area of the field he normally does. And I thought he looked really good on 1-2 touch passing. I thought he found the passing lanes well, ran the lanes well, got into position a few different times. And obviously,
here's what it is tactically, just so you know, because you just contextualize this. At least Google, and I haven't gone back and looked at the football reference sites and all that, or who scored or whatever. But they listed as a 4-4-2 with Morata and Dybala as a pair of strikers, and McKennie on the right side of the midfield four with Juan Cuadrado behind him. If Juan Cuadrado is behind you, he's going wide. He's taking that space. That's why you're going to see Weston McKennie drift inside. So he's part of that. He's part of that ball rotation and trying to.
I think this was more a symptom of not having Cristiano available to start. I don't know that Weston McKennie's playing in this position, or even if Juventus is playing a 4-4-2, if Cristiano Ronaldo's in the game.
Well, but look, I'm going to get. You're right, and Ronaldo not being completely match fit yet. But
I will say though, that it's surprising that they started him over Jack Wilshere. That's one thing I thought. I'm sorry, Aaron Ramsey. I don't know where I got
Jack Wilshere.
All British white people look alike to me. They're all pale and pink.
I don't know if you're supposed to.
Damn, dog.
Wait, he's Welsh anyway, isn't Aaron Ramsey Welsh?
Well, he's still British, but he is Welsh.
How many countries are in that country?
4 countries are in that country. 4.
Okay. So Aaron Ramsey, I'm maybe a little bit surprised that in a spot where you needed to get some offensive production for someone with Cristiano being out, that Weston McKennie was the guy to go to instead of Aaron Ramsey. Unless Still, what?
Well, probably. I mean, sorry, you're going to say this.
Unless Pirlo was thinking, I need some defensive cover potentially to get a draw out of this, or like we're not sure what's going to happen here. Well, the West End Committee can cover that space.
But again, I think if you have Cuadrado playing behind him, you know what that is going to that kind of situation. And Arthur and Bentancur, maybe not the most attacking duo in the middle, but it's not like they're bad passers. It's not like they're not going to be able to do something there. I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking about this. This is all very fluid.
This whole start may have been a reward to play with Weston McKennie, track down Leo Messi and put him on his rump at the midweek. Did you see that one? He put Leo Messi on his butt.
Yeah.
Tracked him down from behind, stole the ball, and put the best player of a generation on his keister.
And now he has something in common with Jimmy Conrad, who likes to point out that he one time tackled Lionel Messi at the Copa America way back in the day. It's like his shout out to the Conrad.
Was Jimmy Conrad also on that team that lost to Barcelona like 7-0, the All-Star team that went over there?
That's possible. I don't know.
Or was that Real Madrid? They played one of those two teams. I can't remember if it was Real Madrid or Barcelona and lost handily.
Maybe that was. By the way, phone lines are open at 717-727-2378. If you're watching the video, you see the number. Call us up. Talk to us about Christian Pulisic, about Weston McKennie.
All right, get to the player you really want to talk about. I know there's someone you want to pour salt in my wounds on.
Well, no, actually I don't, because I know what you're going to say. And it's going to be fun to have this argument. You're going to say one goal. What does it matter? Who cares? But yes, Josh Sargent scored a goal, and it was a well-taken goal. I mean, I think
he may have been offside.
My God, dude! Like, why?
When you watched that, you didn't.
Jay Rodius.
When you watched that, you didn't have to look at it a second time to see if maybe that dude was offside?
Well, I'm going to give it a benefit of the doubt until they come back and look at it. And, it's the Bundesliga. They don't mess around with VAR. They go hard on it. I would trust them to figure it out. And look, yeah, he could have been offside, scored, but at the same time, and yes, if it didn't count, that definitely is a ding against him. But you want to see him put the ball in the net, have the confidence to finish that off. And
listen, that's not the goal I expect. That's not the goal that I'm expecting Josh Sargent to score for the United States. How often do you expect him to get behind a defense? I mean, listen, the guy had a breakaway and he scored it. Congratulations. That's what he should do. It's what he should do.
Yeah.
I don't know that it translates to anything he's going to do at the national team level.
Okay, just before you go on here, I saw a video. It's a couple weeks old at this point. I think it was on FIFA rankings or ratings or something. The players all like to talk about their FIFA ratings. And it was like McKennie and I don't know who it was, but they were talking about speed, and he's like this. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're the slowest one here." So definitely, speed is not something that's going to be part of his game.
Yeah, and so I do want to see him with the national team, see what he can do. I think it's great for confidence. You know me, I always like form confidence when it comes to a striker, and I don't think he's had either of those two things. So having a goal, coming into a potential national team camp, and by the way, when's Berhalter going to put this dang lineup out?
What, the roster, you mean? I mean,
the roster.
Yeah, man, I don't know.
They say we're 10 days out right now.
Here's the thing. Yes, we're 10 days out, and it would be nice to have it. And I would love to be able to talk about it, but also, are we positive this is going to happen? If you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, the players are already over there, so I mean,
some of them are, and some of them are in England, but some of them get to England.
That weird looking dude, Boris Johnson, he said this week that they might be like further locking down England in the near future. Yeah. So I don't know what that means for even. Does that mean friendlies are still going to happen? I mean, these guys are all getting tested. I have a feeling that there's so much money being made in sports and stuff like that that's going to keep going. I think the game's going to be played. There might be a little bit more issues. Can you get players from outside England since they're not an EU country anymore?
How much
can
money,
you get them in?
How much money are you going to make? And then, by the way, it would be the Welsh FA who benefits, right? But how much money are you making from a friendly with nobody in the stands against the United States?
I'm not talking about this one game. I'm talking about sports in general. So you're not going to ban for this one game. I mean, I'm just saying if they're going to put any restrictions in on sports, and I don't think they will be right now.
Okay. Look, I don't want to talk about it not happening because that would suck.
I wish can Berhalter get to England? Like, all the players, I'm pretty sure they can get in there. They can play. Is Berhalter somewhere else right now other than the U.S.? Like, how is the coaching staff going to get into there?
You know what they should do? They should put him up in like a spaceship in orbit, like in the space station. And then that way, like, he should just be there at all times. And then that way, if they need to get him somewhere, they just drop him in. Like, oh, you got to get to England for a game, Greg? Just drop him in. Yeah, just throw him in. Does that work?
Maybe he can borrow Klinsmann's helicopter. I don't know.
Speaking of, it's coming up. We're going to talk about that.
Can we push that a little bit further down the show? I don't know if I'm emotionally ready for that topic.
Well, we didn't. Okay, so we haven't mentioned Gio Reyna. And are we at the point now? And obviously, look, if he scores goals, if he has assists, those are counting numbers. Those are things that we're definitely going to be focused on. But are we at the point now with Giovanni Reyna that we kind of not take him for granted, but we're kind of comfortable with him already, like established? Is that possible?
It's 100% possible. And there, I probably have more confidence in Gio Reyna than any other player on the national team right now.
Wow. Well, that's saying.
Is there someone else's name that you feel more confident in?
You probably wouldn't let him drive your car, but you're excited to see. You're sure about his place.
I'd let him date my daughter. He seems like a nice young chap.
Well, here's the thing, though. You don't.
Damn, dog. That's inappropriate.
You don't have a daughter, so it's a moot point.
I don't, but I would.
If you had a daughter,
doesn't he seem like a nice boy that hangs out with maybe one
girl?
Suspect person?
He does seem like a very nice young man. Except again,
I mean, I'm like Erling Haaland. That dude's got crazy lips and crazy eyes. I don't know.
If Giovanni Reyna wanted to date your daughter and he showed up to pick her up with Erling Haaland, are you having second?
Now I'm worried. I'm worried. But here's the thing. Here's why I'd let Gio date my daughter. I know he comes from good stock. I've seen Claudio. I know the kind of stand-up individual he is as a man. He's a captain of the national team at some point.
He would knock on the door, knock, knock, knock. You'd open it up. He'd be like, "Good evening, Mr. Dubois. I'm here to pick up your imaginary daughter,
Juliet."
Kevina. I'm here to pick up Kevina.
Why does my girl sound like something word Trump made up?
I think I've told this story before. Maybe not. And I know he doesn't listen. When I was little, my brother's name is Kevin. When we were little, I called him Kevina, which is totally wrong. I should never have done that. But the reason I did is because at one point in the movie, Just One of the Boys or whatever it is, Just One of the Guys. Remember that movie? Just One of the Guys?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Was it the Amanda Bynes or something like that?
No, I'm talking about this is from the 80s. This is a long.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
This is the other movie where Billy Zabka plays the bad guy in high school.
That's one of three. You're forgetting one.
I may be forgetting one. This is
Back to School.
Oh, right. He is, but that's not high school. That's college, but I do get your point. He is the bad guy. But this is another high school movie where Billy Zabka is the bad guy. And the girl goes to another school because she wants a journalism scholarship and they wouldn't give it to a girl. She thinks, so she pretends to be a boy. Anyway, at one point when her brother is covering for her, he's like, your girlfriend Kevina, because her real boyfriend's name was Kevin. He changed it to Kevina. So that's your daughter, Kevina. He's there to pick up Kevina, and he knocks on the door and he opens it up and he says, I'm here to pick up Kevina. You're like, are you that Reina boy? Yeah, I know your pops. We go way back. I used to watch him play when he was at Sunderland back in the day. Is that how it goes for you?
Yeah, something like that.
Like that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think don't be trying to split any balls on my girl, okay?
No, wait.
Damn, dog.
Inappropriate.
You keep those through balls in your pants, young
That's
Gino.
right.
Yes, you keep those diagonals away from my daughter, whatever that is. Yeah, you keep it.
I gotta tell you this. Listen, I'm the Tony Miola of this household. You're not gonna get any balls past me.
I got some big mitts and some.
Jesus, you trying to say something about your other stuff?
Oh, I don't know what's happening anymore. So you're just.
He seems like a nice, but I honestly do. I really feel like I have the most confidence of him stepping on a field and producing at the appropriate level than any other player on the national team right now. Like, maybe Dest? I don't know. But is there another player out there that you feel more confident being able to step on the field and get the level of production he gets on the day in at his club team?
I am. No, I'm not there for Dest. I'm not there with Dest yet. I think it's coming.
Jordan Morris?
But Dest didn't start in the Champions. I don't know if that means the end of the world or anything, but Dest didn't start in the Champions League last week. That's a thing. He didn't play against Juve.
Listen, they play a lot of money for Jordi Alba. They got before they start moving him around, they got to make sure that.
But again, Sergi Roberto is the guy that he gets.
He's been played on both sides of Barca already.
Sure,
though.
that's true. That's true. That's a good point. So he didn't, and I don't think that. Again, I don't think that's the end of the world. I'm not there yet with him. Yeah, because of injury, it has to be right.
Jordan Morris might be the only other person more consistent at his club level.
Can we put John Brooks in there, or is he just he's a little more fragile than I'd like? I mean, it hasn't happened in a while, so knock on wood.
No, I think there's a 3-man race there. I think those three, but but the crazy thing is that we're saying that about a 17-year-old kid.
Yeah, sure.
But that dude don't play like 17.
So if you were filling out a lineup card right now for the national team, and I've asked this question in the way of like you have to win the game because that changes the dynamic a little bit. If you're playing a friendly against Wales, who the bleep knows? You can do whatever you want, but if you have to win a game in World Cup qualifying, Giovanni Reina is in ink on your lineup card right now.
100%. He's the second name on the sheet.
Who's your first one?
Pulisic still.
Again, this is also kind of like about the health. Like take them at their status right now.
I think Pulisic is first team on the name on the sheet. And I think Reina's number 2 right now, to be honest with you. And I was slow on this train. I needed to see him get consistent starts, consistent minutes starting this year and seeing what he can do. That kid is one of the best players on Dortmund. There's no doubt about it right now.
Okay, so let me ask you a question about the national team and stat. And this can also be a DEFCON situation.
Take us to DEFCON 3.
Individual questions about different parts of the national team. So, are you more concerned, or where your DEFCON highest level for the national team? Is it at goalkeeper, where you've got your number 1 is a backup at Manchester City? Your presumed number 1 is a backup at Manchester City. He's getting cup minutes, right? Your number 2 is who exactly and where exactly? Is he an MLS guy? Is it Guzan? Is it Turner? Is it
Horvath?
Horvath is not getting any time. As long as Mignolet is healthy, Horvath won't play. He had a great outing in the Champions League, and he's going to get his butt right back on the bench. Is it at goalkeeper? Is it at striker? right? Where obviously Josh Sargent scores a goal. It's first of the year for Werder Bremen. That's all nice and well and good, but is he ready to take the role as the first choice center forward?
So you asked me what position on the field has my highest DEFCON level?
Yeah, but
lowest.
It's not just about position. It's a kind of about how things resolve themselves or where they're headed. I think that's part of it. So goalkeeper, striker, those are position areas, but you could also say the health of Pulisic, the health of Adams, or do you want to throw both of them under the same health umbrella? Go for that. Is that your concern?
I still think the number one theme that I'm concerned with is striker. It really is, because Josh Sargent scoring is nice. I appreciate it. I'm glad he's getting something. It's like I said, I'm always assuming that there's a must-win game tomorrow when we have these conversations. Like I get that by the time qualifying rolls around, this may not be the case. But if I was playing a qualifier tomorrow, we had to win it. Striker would be my biggest issue, because even I think the goalkeepers, there's plenty of national teams in the world that don't have a starting keeper at an elite level team that are still good goalkeepers. You only play one. That's the problem. There's only one position on every field.
I also think that, well, in some of those cases, not all of them, in some of those cases, the goalkeeper tends to be an experienced guy who maybe has drifted into it.
And it tends to not be a foreigner a lot of time, because you're using a foreign slot in certain countries for the goalkeeper then.
Well, no, I'm talking about for the like some national teams get by without a keeper who's a starter at his club, but he also tends to be experienced and maybe is backing up another keeper. And I don't know if that, because Zach Steffen has some experience, but it's not like he's got like a buttload of experience. Like,
but I'll tell you right now, I'm starting to feel better about the striker position, not because Josh Sargent scored.
Oh, are you going to say a certain name?
There's a gentleman in Orlando that I'm really keen on right now.
I didn't know if you were on the DK train. And we talked about you. I guess so. I guess so. Wait, it can't be the DK train. It's got to be better. That could be alliterative, right?
I mean, what do they call North Korea? Something DK?
Oh, DP. Isn't it like the People's Republic DKPR?
I don't know, something like that. Yeah.
I don't think we're going in that direction, are we?
Well, what do they call it in hockey? They call it a deke, right? Maybe he's the deacon deuce.
I've got we've got Freddie on our Slack saying big DK energy, because
I like that.
DK sounds like the other thing, you know.
Yeah, I like that, but what I don't like is if you say it phonetically, which a lot of people who don't know the sport and read that, it doesn't look good.
That's a problem. Well, anybody who says his name phonetically, or not phonetically, but in an American way, is going to have a problem. Yeah, that's.
But I like the idea of big DK energy.
Big DK energy. But I also feel like the hype train around Daryl DK, and it is DD. Maybe there's something there too. Double Dragon.
Double D.
No, see, man, you don't make it weird.
It's not weird. It's his initials.
You need to be weird. But we all knew what you were talking. You might as well have cupped your breast while you said it.
I'm just saying, up top, I like double D's.
Man, I can't give you a
at the top of my formation. At the top of my formation right now, the best might be double D's.
No, the last 2 weeks, for anybody who doesn't know, and hopefully you're listening to everything. I was in Puerto Rico for the last 2 weeks, right? So I was away from my home base. Didn't have
video looking like Abu Ghraib.
It was terrible. Didn't have my drops, and we got done with the show last week, and Jared was like, "I need the drops. I need the feedback. I need to know what's hitting."
There's no punchline indicators,
which I do enjoy. I do enjoy that.
I'm just saying, until you all come up with a better one,
yeah,
double D's might be the best thing out there.
Is he good enough? Now, where is he? Pecking order. Tell me right now.
I would say he's the second hottest striker. Aaron Johansson's still the hottest striker in the pool, but Aaron Johansson, I don't think, can be successful in a 4-3-3 formation for the national team.
Aaron Johansson's so hot right now.
Yeah, the Johansson is so hot right now. But in a 4-4-2, maybe a late game sub, I like Aaron Johansson. I think that's the most informed striker right now, in terms of the hottest striker right now. But Daryl DK can play in a 4-3-3. That dude is built like a brick F house or S house, whatever it's called. Like that dude is 6'12", 220.
He is a load for sure.
That is Josie Altidore 10 years ago.
He can truck you and he can blow right by you, dude. And he can finish, which is
he'll size you up like the water boy coming down the field and just run you over, man. And he's got silky finish too. The guy is a beast, and it's crazy to me that he went to college for 2 years. What the hell was he doing in college for 2 years and not playing it on team somewhere?
Scored the only goal in Orlando's win over Montreal this night, as we're talking right now, this evening. So Orlando benefiting from
scored midweek as well, I believe.
scored midweek as well. I'm going to go check on.
I think he's got 6 goals, 9 games, something like that.
6 goals, 9. No, he's played more than 9 games, but
maybe 6 goals, 9 starts.
That might be more accurate. And somebody will tell us. Yeah, it's 6 goals, 4 assists on the season.
That's pretty good production, man. And a lot of them been just in the last couple of weeks. I mean, the dude's hot right now.
How about 0.51 goals per 90 minutes, which it's not league best or anything, but it's pretty damn good for especially for a rookie.
All right, I got to pick your poison for you then.
Ooh, it's been a little while.
You're Greg Berhalter. You've got Josh Sargent coming to the team, and you got Aaron Johansson coming to the team. And let's assume you could bring an American like over from domestic play.
Sure.
And you can only have spot for one MLS.
Beam him up to the satellite, and he's going to
then back down. Yeah, that's Elon Musk's new internet thing. I don't know if you guys know about it, but he can bring one MLS domestic striker right now. Ooh. If you're Greg Berhalter, are you bringing Giassi Zardes or Daryl DK?
Okay, now when you say
Giassi Zardes, who's played in the system, knows the system, been in camps, known quantity.
Yeah. I know.
Or the new hotness.
Okay, look, if this is my team, I'm bringing Daryl DK because I don't know him. I don't know what he can do in my system.
I told you you're Greg Berhalter.
No, I know. If I'm Greg Berhalter, I'm bringing Giassi Zardes because I'm Greg that's the thing. If I'm somehow like I don't have my own brain and
you're like Jason with 2 N's.
That's weird. I don't want to be Jason.
It's weird with 2 G's on Greg.
It is kind of weird. Like, why does that have 2 G's? Greg
double G's.
Double G's.
Double G's is bringing double D's. I'm telling you right now.
Double G's is bringing double D's. Right. Yeah. Carrying them. Look. If you said I'm in charge of the national team and I'm not Greg Berhalter and I'm not carrying an extra letter, then I'm taking Daryl DK because
I think I'm too.
I understand that there's this flash in the pan possibility. I understand that this does not necessarily mean he's going to be as good next season or he's going to keep growing at this level. But man, the skill set is there. It's a matter of refinement. It's a matter of upping his competition level. And look, I think again, you know what you get out of Giassi Zardes. And here's the other thing, Jared. Okay. Giassi Zardes knows the system. Giassi Zardes has got a ton of national team caps. He scored some goals. He's not a prototypical 4-3-3 center forward. He's not the way that Greg Berhalter wants to play it, right?
Okay, but you gave me your pick your poison. I'm going to extend it to another choice then.
By the way, BD Smokey. I keep saying his name wrong. BD Smokey, 1.45 goals per game for Giassi Zardes. Is that right? Is that right?
I don't know that that's right, but he has scored quite a few.
His goals per 90 minutes is 0.64. Okay.
Okay. 0.64. So, Daryl DK.
Oh, is this another pick your poison?
Yes.
Okay. You never deny BBD the opportunity to jump in here. Okay.
Double D. Or Io Akinola.
Double D.
Akinola scored tonight.
No, Akinola's good too. I like the fact that they're both out there. By the way, I think Akinola might be in danger of being lost to Canada, so there is something to that.
That's all the more reason you get him in there.
Maybe, but I don't like that thing where you go, "Oh, he's a dual national." By the way,
we got to Teal Bunbury this dude.
Actually, I think Daryl DK is actually eligible for somewhere to maybe Nigeria too.
Yeah, I think so too. But I think he's Oklahoma. Like that dude's super Oklahoma, right?
I mean, you would think so, but Akinola played with the youth national team.
Dude, you got to lock these. You need to lock it up.
You lock it up. No, you lock it up.
You lock it up. You got Giassi Zardes locked up. You need to lock up one of Akinola or Double D.
Do you take Giassi Zardes for granted? You're like, yo, G, just hang out over there. Stay in Ohio. We got these other 2 young hot kids.
Hey, chill there with your passport.
Get your passport ready.
But here's the thing. There's not a meaningful game to cap tie anyone until somewhere in 2021.
No. I know. That is a major point.
That's all the more reason you got to bring these guys in right now. They got to start feeling like they're part. Why did Serginho Dest choose the USA? Because the USA made him feel wanted.
Right. They sent him chocolates and flowers, and they called him, and they checked.
Can't send a dude in Holland chocolates. He's got Belgium right there. There's no way that we can compare to that. You can't send him to a Hershey.
That's a good point. Well, I know. If you get the the dark chocolate dipped strawberries, you do it right. You get the little.
This is a good shout right here from Holden. DK got that big, thick body, hard shot and good speed, Drogba energy.
Okay, that is big claims. Okay, that's
dude. You're telling me that physically that doesn't make you think of Didier Drogba when you look at him?
I can make that comparison, like Holden did. I can. I can make that comparison. I just want to be careful.
No, I'm talking about. Do you see his goal midweek? He did this little like through his legs half turn with the ball. Jabba used to do that on the top of the 18 all the time.
Okay, here I want to give him credit for that. I think that was a.
You think it's a mistouch?
I think it's a mistouch that he got.
I don't know. It's a soft touch either way, though.
I'll give him credit for the finish, though. We've been watching Jossie Zardes do that for 10 years, and we're like, oh yeah, he's still a national teamer. So if Daryl DK has that dumb touch goal in him, I'm fine with the dumb touch goal because I care about the goal, not the dumb touch.
I don't know, Matt. That guy looks good on the half turn. He looks good with his back to goal. Those are kind of things when I talk about Diddy Drogba that I really like.
Sending him some chocolates, yeah, down to Florida.
If he can, all left for me to see is can DK score in the air consistently. If he can, I think that's the last piece right there.
Okay, let's talk. Speaking of DK and Major League Soccer, let's bring it. I have to go there now. It is the biggest MLS story of the last week, Jared, even as things are finishing out here. They finally did it. They can.
They won?
They sent GBS packing after that loss against Portland. Nobody's shocked by this, right?
Yeah, but it shouldn't end there. That's the problem, though. That's the problem with LA Galaxy, though, is that we're gonna get rid of Briscolotto, and that was all we had to do. No, it needs to go up to Beckerman, Klein. Like someone else has to fry.
I don't have all his quotes in front of me, and I'm not going to play him. But you don't feel like Dennis DeClosa has said the right thing so far? Because
I think he was very. Listen, you get the guy on the halftime of ESPN while his coach is on the field. What's he going to say? Yeah, we're about to light this thing on fire.
Yeah,
like
I understand why Taylor asked the question. Taylor has to ask the question.
Yeah, he does have the question, but I think DeClosa has to answer it the way he did as well.
What are we doing?
I'm talking about after GBS got fired. DeClosa said things like, "Look, this is not just about him. We thought we were trying to give him good pieces. This is about." He basically called out everybody in the front office without actually saying, "This is on Klein. This is on me. This is on Beckerman. Whoever."
Listen, you got a boss, right? Somewhere out there in radio land, you have a boss.
Yeah, I got a radio boss.
You gonna call his name out?
My boss?
Yeah, you can say his name out loud about something that's messing up. I ain't gonna do that with my boss. Hey, Pickles ain't gonna do that. You think he's gonna let Klein's name out of his mouth?
That's all I'm saying. Is do you think DeClosa said things that can give you hope that they're gonna fix the problems rather than just dance around?
No, he didn't say anything. And the recent track record shows me they don't have any clue how to do it. But at least it's a first move towards something. Guillermo Briscolotto, I think he should still get another chance in MLS with another team that doesn't have the same expectations that perhaps LA Galaxy does. I think maybe he was a little too dependent on his Argentine, what he knows kind of pieces that he brought in consistently. But I also think that they did nothing to shore up the defense that last year they knew was a problem. And they brought in a bust of a DP. A bust. And now DeClosa's number one job is not necessarily finding a next coach. It's finding someone to take Chicharito off their hands.
Yeah. You know what? And after the Giovanni Dos Santos dump, this is like doubling up on your Mexican.
I mean, he hasn't took the hit on that one because obviously that one was before him.
I'm not talking about DeClosa taking it. I'm just talking about the team taking it. They completely whiffed on Giovanni Dos Santos, and now they're completely whiffing on Chicharito Hernandez. And it's like, did you have any idea this might have happened? Maybe if you had looked at his track record recently where he was bouncing around, not getting time, not scoring goals in Spain. And then I don't know. I don't know. The question is, where do they go? Because like you said, it's not going to be just about the coach, but I think there's this sense, and this is why the Robbie Keane rumor popped up, and Shaden wants to know if it's BS or not. The reason it popped up because it feels like something that might bring back some team spirit. And so
I don't think it's total BS. I really don't. I don't think that. I think there's fire there. There's smoke there. I don't know if there's fire, but there's smoke. I think it's. Man,
there's always smoke with Robbie Keane. His ears are always smoking a little bit.
Here's the thing with Robbie Keane. It's like, yes, does he bring back a winning mentality of a time gone past with LA Galaxy? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But do you want to be a coach's first thing? Like, don't you want to be a guy's like third thing he's successful at when he has a track record of like that? To me, that's you're letting a guy walk in your front door just because he stayed with you a few times in the past. I don't know, man. Like, I just don't feel like that dude gets keys to the house just yet.
It's kind of like hiring your buddy from college that you lived with to like run your company. You're like, yeah, I know that dude.
That dude, right? Yeah. What's his degree in? Oh, wait.
Remember when we did Jaeger bombs at the beach, bro? Like, come on, run my company.
He's got an art degree. He can figure this out. He knows the place.
I think Robbie Keane knows soccer. He's got some assistant
for sure
experience. I think you're right though. I think that the LA Galaxy should never be somebody's first job. I think that's what if they and not Robbie Keane isn't quite a Galaxy legend the way that Frank Lampard's a Chelsea legend, and by the way, I know he had the Derby County, and Andrea Pirlo is a Juve legend, but that's the energy, right? The energy.
Yeah, that's MLS's version of it. It's Ben Olsen kind of as well.
It is. Yeah, absolutely is.
I mean, I don't think that Keane is as synonymous with the club as Ben Olsen was in DC, but I would rather go one of a few different directions. I mean, obviously there's talks out there about Javier Aguirre. Me personally, if they were going to go after someone, I would want Miguel Herrera.
Well, yeah, of course. I
would love for them to go for that. Well, why do you say, of course, like they can't get him?
Well, okay, he's been at Club America for what, 5 years now? 4 or 5 years?
That's about time a coach moves.
No. And it's amazing that he's been there that long, because that's a club that fires coaches, and he's a coach that doesn't last very long anywhere. I think he would be amazing, but you are signing up short term for Miguel Herrera, and maybe you're fine with that. But you are basically saying this is a 2-year project, and if we don't win under Miguel Herrera,
Javier Aguirre wouldn't be any different. Have you seen Aguirre's like that dude's that hasn't been any place longer than 2 years in 10 or 12 years?
No, you're right. There are a lot of like short-term options, and when I say short-term, I mean that not just like 2 years or 3 or 4 years, but 1 or 2 years, and maxing out at that level. And the question is, you just talked about the organizational failures, the fact that they don't have a good enough defense to even win games. Yeah, is hiring Javier Aguirre or Miguel Herrera going to change your defense? I mean, they can play a different style, they can do different things.
No, but that is the general manager's job. Like it's an issue of the pieces on the defense. It's not an issue of a system on defense. Yeah. The pieces aren't right. So I feel like that's more on to close to do something like
sure. But that's what I'm saying. Like you
they signed Pipo Gonzalez for some reason. Like that was going to fix something. That dude's on the books now.
Are you going to trust the front office? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the other options are, because Dom Kinnear is going to maybe get an interview this time because he didn't last time. He got all mad about it. And look, that guy's got a track record, but I don't think anybody feels like MLS now is Dom Kinnear's MLS.
Yeah, so it's definitely different than it used to be. I mean, Dom Kinnear as a coach worked because he was at Houston. Like the style of play that Houston had to do, and to do a lot with little. That's what Dom Kinnear was amazing at.
So this is what I asked Atlanta fans. After Martino left, and even before that, knowing he was eventually going to leave, and obviously they had the success and they won the cup, and then sort of after Frank de Boer, the question is, do they have to go in a name coach direction? Do they need somebody whose name jumps off the page, like, oh, I know that guy, he coached at this place and that place and won this championship? Or can they go in a lesser known direct? I mean, obviously, look, a guy like Gabriel Heinze was out there. I don't know if he still is. Was out there. He was mentioned as an Atlanta possibility. Would you go with somebody like that? Maybe not known in America, but
I'm just happy we've talked about this for 5 minutes and you didn't say the name I don't want to hear.
Which one? Oh, the Jurgen Klinsmann name. Well, I wanted to build up to it. I didn't want to just drop this on you. It was everybody's first joke on Twitter, though. Was okay. And I was like, you can hear the sound of the chopper coming in from Orange County.
Dude, I swear to God, like that might be the thing that pushes me over the edge finally. If they bring Klinsmann into here, the Klinsmann is a world-class soccer grifter. The dude just takes and takes and takes and gives nothing but heartache in his path behind him. Even going back to Germany, everyone knows that was Yogi Löw. Like that was not Jurgen Klinsmann. Yeah, Bayern Munich fizzled out. U.S. national team fizzled out. Everyone thinks that he's the right guy for the job, but show me a place where he has been. The dude just grifts. He just gets money, and he talks you up. All this talk about the new way he's going to do things, and nothing works. Players don't believe in him.
Give me, man. I wish I had I have. Okay, let me see this. Hold on. Robbie Keane, Jurgen Klinsmann.
Robbie Keane.
Okay, just because he knows the club, he's in the club, he has the passion, right?
It's more he's the anti-Klinsmann than he is he's not Klinsmann. That's the thing. Robbie Keane obviously is there. I believe Robbie Keane would be there for the right reasons. Right. I think Jurgen Klinsmann would be there because he has no other options.
Okay,
that's different to me.
That's fair enough. I
don't want to have 10 years of him playing his kid just because he's his kid. Now Klinsmann, I think Jonathan Klinsmann has won that job off of. Wait, you don't think so?
No, I'm saying it's sad that he's won the job. That's what I'm saying.
It's Bingham wasn't doing great. I think
No,
Klinsman's looked at. I think
I'm
Klinsman's
saying
actually
it's
looked good.
sad. It's sad that the Galaxy's goalkeeper options came down to let's hand the job to Jonathan Klinsmann. I'm not saying he's a bad keeper, by the way. He could very well be a good keeper. I just think it's wild that like 3/4 of the way through 2020 in this weird season, you're like, oh yeah, I guess our best option is the guy who flamed out in Germany and is also happens to be Jurgen Klinsmann's kid.
Flamed out, but come on, that dude. Okay, listen, I got no love for a kid that that took Donovan's pain and put it on Twitter. But I will say this. That's gotta suck to try to follow your dad somewhere and your dad grifts the team.
Sure. Okay, here's another one. I'm not gonna hit the sound.
Jurgen Griftman.
How about this one? BD Smokey says Eric Winalda or Jurgen Klinsmann. Jared,
why does my team have to have every conspiracy theory wacko coach that's out there?
Whoa. That's not nice to say about an American soccer legend. Come on.
He's an American soccer legend, but come on, dude. The guy had 2 days at his last club, didn't even show up.
It was in the middle of a pandemic. You don't know what happened.
Does anyone still know why he's not at Vegas?
Yeah, but he trained his team when there were COVID-19 restrictions.
Okay, so is that a guy you want?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. Jurgen Klinsmann or Eric Winalda?
No. Jurgen Klinsmann or Eric Winalda? God dang it, Jurgen Klinsmann.
Get to the chopper!
He said it. You heard him say it. No, I'm just kidding. I know, look, it's not going to be either one of those guys. It's not. I think Aguirre is going to get an interview. I think that they'll take a swing at Herrera, although I think Atlanta might want to take a swing at Herrera as well.
Was Osorio in there, I think, as well? People
Osorio just became available. So
yeah, he was with Atleti.
What?
Atleti Nacional. Wait, which one?
He was in Colombia somewhere. Something. Yeah, he was in Colombia somewhere. I actually don't have the name of his club. Osorio is an interesting name, but I think that for old MLS heads, it's kind of a weird one.
He's formerly in New York.
Yeah, in Chicago, and wanted to get to New York, so he kind of did something shady to get out of Chicago. I don't know, the whole thing happening. And then obviously left. And
that's the Chicago way.
Yes, yeah. Pulls a knife, you pull a gun. That's the Chicago way. Shout out R.I.P. Sean Connery, by the way, the voice of our Open on the program. I think he's a good coach. I think his whole professorial thing is a little weird, and I'm not sure that's the right fit for the LA Galaxy right now. If you know what I'm saying.
Right now, who's more likely between Jurgen Klinsmann or Jill Ellis to get an MLS job?
Jill Ellis.
I agree.
By a long shot. And
who's more likely between Robbie Keane and Jill Ellis?
I would say Jill Ellis by a nose because of experience.
Yeah. Do you think that DC has the balls to pull the trigger?
No, I don't.
That sucks.
No, I don't think they do. And look, I want them to do something cool. I want the Galaxy to do something cool. I want Atlanta to do something cool. It doesn't have to be hire a woman. I do think she deserves to be given an opportunity to interview for the job. And apparently DC has talked to her, informally.
Yeah.
So, which is interesting. I also think that, there's some stuff coming out of DC, and I try not to be cynical because they all deserve a look. Jill Ellis deserves a look. Ezra Hendrickson deserves a look.
Love me some easy.
The guy in Tulsa whose name escapes me deserves a look based on what he's done at the USL Championship level. I think it's Michael Encian. I might be butchering his pronunciation.
Doesn't that guy play for Ghana?
Not Essien. It's spelled Nsien, which is why I can't.
Okay, I gotcha.
There's some people who deserve a look, but it's kind of funny to me that the names we've heard, and there have been other names floating around, the names we've heard directly reported are several black coaches and a woman, which if you hire one of them, okay, great. Again, I think they're all worthy. They're all deserving of an opportunity. I think they all have the resume to get a chance at that job. It's just, I don't want it to be tokenism. I don't want this to be oh yeah, we floated a woman and we floated some black guys because we want to seem progressive. And then they end up hiring, I don't know. I was going to say a name, but I'm not.
You know who's the opposite of that? You know who's the opposite of that? Galaxy. Oh, who's the guy that has a Spanish last name? We're going to hire that guy. Let's get a Mexican coach. That'll penetrate the LA market.
Look, he had failed 2 other places, so it was a bad move from that.
Chicharito failed 2 other places.
No. Listen. You don't know who I'm talking about yet. He had failed 2 other places, and so it was a bad move in that regard because you had a track record with him. But I don't think it was crazy to give Onalfo the job based on what he had done with Los Dos. I don't think that was nuts.
No. I think that was deserved. I think that was deserved. And listen, everyone knows that Kurt Onalfo is one of the nice guys in MLS, one of the best stories in MLS. A guy that played in the league, had a debilitating issue health wise, came back from it. Kurt Onalfo is one of the good guys in MLS, so I don't have any issue with that. But that being said, I'm not going to act like he wasn't one of the Bruce Arena good old boys. I mean, you know the guys, the Sacarins, the Bob Bradleys, the Onalfos, like Bruce Arena.
Sacarin? Artificial Sarakin.
Did I say Sacarin?
You said Sacarin.
Yeah, Sarakin. But Bruce Arena had made men. Like he's like Sopranos. Like he had all these made men next to him.
Give Bruce the satisfaction of acting like
he's already on the East Coast wearing a tracksuit.
These are my made men.
Yeah. So which one of them's big pussy?
No, we're not doing this. No, we're not going.
Oh man, you know it's not Sarakin. There ain't nothing big about Sarakin.
Man. So if you had to guess, where do you think they go?
Who's that?
The Galaxy. Who do they hire?
Javier Aguirre.
Okay. I mean, I think that's okay. But again, it's
okay. It's okay. I mean, he's a chronic 2-year solution to problems lately. 1 year in some cases, but he ticks all the boxes. And I think Teclosa has a track record working with him at the Mexican national level as well.
Well, there's that. Here's the other thing. And I think it's fine for Teclosa to pull out his phone book or his cell phone and be like, oh, no, that guy, well, he's not doing anything. Let's see. But I think what's interesting is that Chicharito Hernandez, if this is at all a reclamation project for Chicharito Hernandez by hiring a Mexican coach potentially, he did much better under Miguel Herrera than he did under Javier Aguirre. He did not play as much to get as much opportunity under Aguirre, and it was early in his career.
The whole team didn't play as well, though, at that point.
But if you're talking about, who is the Chicharito whisperer of the two, it's Herrera and not Aguirre. That's all I'm going to say.
And I would like to go with Herrera. That if we have to keep Chicharito, God, please, oh baby, whatever, like up in the sky. Like there's 2 things I want. One is on Tuesday, and the other one is to get rid of Chicharito. If I had to take one of the two, I'd take one of the two. I'd take one for the team. I would take one for the team and keep Chicharito.
Okay. We don't know. We won't know a resolution on either of those things way past Tuesday. I'm just going to say that right now. I'll get that out there. It's going to take a while before we find out the resolution.
2 national tragedies going on.
All right, we had a couple minutes left. I want to throw this out here. So my wife, my beautiful bride, has entered the 3rd trimester. We are now hitting the stretch run towards the first sighting, the new addition, the first ever player for Old Dad FC
development team.
And it's reminded me, by virtue of hitting the last trimester, that I've been dragging my feet, and I have to call to order. I don't have a gavel like tick, clack, clack, clack. How's that sounds? I call to order the Old Dad FC
in the room.
The Old Dad FC board. And while yes, I'm the chairman, I do have Jared Dubois and Nikki Soup and Sausage on my board here. So, gentlemen, we have to get together. We have to make some progress. We need to get an identity for this club. I don't have a badge. We have a badge. How can we sell?
We need a crest. Do we have any graphic designers in the Bestie squad?
So this is what I'm thinking. We may have some pros out there. I don't know. I certainly would love to be able to pay for Matthew Wolf to do one for us. I don't think that's going to happen unless he's doing it.
We got some bucks. I don't know if we got that many bucks.
We don't have that many bucks. And the guy is a superstar. Everybody should take a shot at this. If you want to design the badge,
we get Matthew Coyote.
Add Old Dad FC. Is that the low rent version?
Yeah, that's the low rent version.
I want whatever you got, your Old Dad FC badge. And Old Dad FC, it's self-explanatory, right? I'm 41. I'm about to have a baby. My wife's about to have a baby, my second child. So this is going to be.
You don't have to be a dad having a kid at an old age. You're just like an older gentleman that has kids. It doesn't have to be like Old Dad FC encompasses me as well.
As I said,
I'm coaching my kids' team on the side.
Is more of a state of mind thing than it is an actual cutoff. You don't have to be just because I'm 41 having a kid. Freddie says Old Dad FC sponsored by AOL. That's pretty damn good. And I know that in the Patreon Slack, in the Bestie Slack, somebody has asked what the official TV shows of Old Dad FC are, and we will talk.
You want to give 2 minutes on it or no?
We got so sure we can go. I mean,
because we have something planned for the bonus show tonight.
We do, and I'm going to tease that here in a second too. The very first show, and this isn't necessarily my show. It just feels like an Old Dad FC show. But MASH is the first one I go to. That's
MASH.
Like, yeah.
Okay. I want to define this real quick.
Okay.
Old Dad FC shows. I feel a lot of people, including yourself, were saying things your dad would have watched. Are you talking about us?
That's I probably
we're Old Dad FC now. You're thinking about your dad.
I know, but when I think old people, I think my dad, and he's watching MASH. I don't know.
Okay, but what is our generation of Old Dad FC? Like what our kids are going to say about us?
Well, you know what it is? You want to be blown away?
I said my choice.
It's Seinfeld. Seinfeld is
Really?
Old Dad FC.
Seinfeld's Old Dad, but I think I get the better one.
What?
Married with Children.
Yeah, that's true. But I even feel like Married. I guess I just remember being a little too young for Married with Children during its first.
Really?
Yeah, you're like a year older, a year and a half older than me. So there's that. I don't know. I wasn't watching it on Fox in 1987 or whatever. That just wasn't me.
Is it now? Freddie, Smokey got one right here. Knight Rider. Is it like our '80s shows we grew up with? Is that Old Dad FC? The '80s shows we grew up with?
Yeah. See, that's the other thing is like, I guess MASH is a show my dad watched in high school because it would have been on in the '70s. So I got to find something like that.
It's Saved by the Bells, Old Dad FC.
Okay, my dad graduated from high school in '74, and MASH would have started. I don't remember MASH like right then, like that. His high school.
Man,
it right?
finished in what 81?
Yeah,
84.
Like Nikki Soup and Sausage with a shout out here. A tip in. Go ahead.
What about The Simpsons?
Yeah, Simpsons is a good shout, but it's so long that I think it's cross generational now.
Yeah,
my kids don't watch The Simpsons.
My
kid
do. The Simpsons. Yep. My kid watches The Simpsons.
Yeah, mine watched The Simpsons. Yeah,
I don't think he's going back to season 3, but he is watching The Simpsons.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, Steve's saying it's Who's the Boss. I mean, that's another 80s shout for us, like when we were kids.
How about this? I think maybe it's the TGI Friday lineup. I think it's like that. And must see TV. Is it like what was the Paul Reiser show that I did?
Mad About You.
Mad About You. Is it Mad About You?
It was Cheers, Mad About You, Seinfeld, and Wings. That was the first installment.
Wings is a good show.
Wings is Old Dad FC. Wings is Old Dad FC.
Then Frasier.
Frasier moved to Tuesday nights eventually, though.
Frasier is Old Dad FC, though. I wasn't my show, but it definitely fits the vibe of Old Dad FC.
You can definitely say Friends is Old Dad FC.
But it came back. It came back though. That's what
it came back, but it's also dumb. And I think we need something just a turn more sophisticated, if you know what I'm saying. Like, so for example, I'm gonna go back to the MASH example. It had the whole backdrop of the Korean War. Like, it was heavy but also funny, and it had this kind of mix of things. That's what I want. I want to.
Chris Howard's got a pretty good one here. Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince is definitely Old Dad FC. Yeah,
that's Old Dad FC. So you're saying culturally relevant when you come to MASH, then?
Yeah, it's got to be culture. I don't know.
What's culturally relevant in the '90s when there was no war?
It's a feel. Yeah. No, you're right. You're
West
right.
Wing?
You know what? Murphy Brown.
Oh God, that was my parents watched
West Wing would be Old Dad FC.
West Wing would probably be Old Dad FC.
And I watch that almost on a daily basis.
How about ER? ER would be Old Dad FC.
I don't like ER.
So?
Home Improvement.
No, I'm not. I'm booting out Home. No.
Oh, by the way,
Old Dad FC though.
Oh, Jonathan Taylor Tannenwald. Did we bust that? Was that the bonus show when I came up with that? I don't know if that was on the main show.
It was the bonus show, Jonathan Taylor.
So just so you know, Mr. Tannenwald, in case you're listening out there, I've coined a new nickname for you, Jonathan Taylor Tannenwald.
What was the other kid on the show?
Zachary Ty Bryant.
Zachary Ty. Now we got to find somebody in the American Soccer Committee who can fit the Zachary Ty Bryant name and come up with something like that. Zachary Ty Bryant Sharetta. Yeah, there it is. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Zachary Ty. Okay, never mind. I'm not.
Zachary Ty Bryant Ching.
Well, that's a player. I guess we could go with that. But Zachary Ty Brian Dunseth is right there too.
Yeah, that's true.
Or Zachary.
Okay, so give us more of your shout outs. Let us know what your Old Dad FC. So we got to think about the shirt sponsors. AOL is a good shout. Something of that, but something that's not going to get us sued. Does AOL exist still? So are they going to sue us?
I feel like maybe Barnes.
Maybe it should just be like Ben Gay.
Barnes and Noble could be a good one. Let's see. I'm trying to think.
No, BEN. I mean, Nick, not BEEN.
I know what you meant.
Okay.
I know what you meant. And yes, AOL still exists. The amount of people that sign up for internet at work that use an AOL email address is staggering.
Nicky Soup and Sausage knows all about AOL in the modern age.
I'm telling you, dude, Elon Musk is about to put you out of business with that space internet.
We may stretch out on the Old Dad FC TV shows and all other aspects of OldAd FC.
Okay, so what we need a logo for someone out there that's got better than stick figure drawing.
You know what I want? You know what I want? I want to what do they call it? Like when it's in Latin underneath the club, the crest has like a phrase,
you want like a scroll parchment kind of thing across the bottom in Latin.
You don't need to have a scroll parchment. Design the logo you want to design. I'm just saying we need a saying. We need like
a Plurbius J Rhodius,
something like.
That's actually pretty good.
What does Plurbius mean?
It would be
E people or something, or
E pluribus Rhodius.
E pluribus Rhodius.
Rhodius unum.
Rhodius sounds Latin though.
It does, and I think we mentioned this. I mentioned this before. It didn't stick, but I had a guy in college call me Duvius, which sounds Latin as well. So
sounds like the phonetic sound of my name.
Yeah. So yeah, Dubois. Anyway,
so we need logo. We need shirt sponsor. What else do we need?
Logo, shirt sponsor. Anything else you want? You want to come up with a official beer we should be drinking?
We need a phrase, like you're just saying. We need a phrase. That's the club's phrase, the motto, the mantra.
I was gonna say Hams could be a sponsor, but that's definitely my dad. That's not.
What's Hams?
You don't know Hams the beer?
Like the pork?
No, there used to be a beer called Hams that went out of business. I think in the 80s.
No, but you know what? Lately, I've been drinking old man beer. I've been drinking the kind of beer that in shows it's what dads who beat their children drink.
Oh, dude, don't say stuff like that.
No. I mean that's the kind of thing. Like I've been drinking, I've been drinking cheap American beer.
What?
Just to have it around the house.
I'm going to judge you now. What is it?
I've been having a little bit of the Banquet.
Okay, I'm okay. That's not bad. Come on, that's not bad. Coors?
It's not good.
I've seen you last week. You were drinking old fashioned, the Coors Banquet beer.
That's why I was having the Banquet. Yeah,
fine. That's fine. It's better than like.
But then I bought like a 12-pack of Miller Lite. I'm trying to find just how white trash I can be.
Ew, no, don't do that. If you're gonna drink anything Miller, drink High Life. At least you can the bottles are cool.
I am living the high life.
You are. You're living the high life. It's the cheapest thing.
By the way, did I tell you recently? So since I got a promotion and we got the house refinanced, I got a little extra spending money around here, right?
You did that? I'm thinking about doing that. Bought my house last year.
Did that. So did that. So we're living okay. And I told my wife that I got out of the shower, and I was like, "Baby, we're doing okay, right?" She's like, "Yeah, we're doing okay. Like we can afford certain things in life. Yeah, we can afford certain things. Like." We're at a point in my life where I don't have to use Suave body wash anymore.
Oh,
it was just always what we bought. It was on sale. It's cheap. It's Suave. I feel like I told her, I said, I want to have what John Legend uses on his body. Like, what's John Legend putting on his body? Because I feel like that's not going to break my bank. I could get me something that's got something nice in it.
That is a world that I don't. I mean, look, there are some things in my that I partake in that I like the finer things. I try to be a little sophisticated. I'm not a wine expert. I might pick a decent whiskey every now and then, that kind of stuff. I don't want to open up. And by the way, we've been sponsored by some men's grooming products in the past.
Yeah.
Like, this has been a thing.
I had to fake like I wore underwear.
That wasn't grooming, but I do see your point. Yeah, I mean, if you want to, pass along.
But when you look at John Legend, aren't you thinking like, man, I want my skin to look like that? It's like beautiful and lustrous. I'm like, I need to have what John Legend. If you're listening, what are you using? Because I went and bought some stuff. I spent more money than I've ever spent on a grooming product, and I bought $40 body wash.
Ooh, I can't.
$40.
My wife spends like $300 on stuff, and I'm like, oh, I can't.
But I may not be at the right level. I might need to go level up.
Shout out to Frank in Orange County. Sponsors Home Base, which I don't know if I know what that is.
I don't know. I know what that is. And he's in the same area as me.
Circuit City is definitely a good. Blockbuster is a good shout. That might be the winner.
Yeah.
Radio Shack is actually a good one. I don't know what Bell is. I don't know what Bell is.
Like Taco?
Maybe the phone company, like long distance or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I guess so. That could be it. GTE.
Right. Let me tease this because we're up against it. On the bonus show this week, we are going to talk about the 25 greatest MLS players of all time. You might have seen that MajorLeagueSoccer.com is putting together the list of 25 greatest players in MLS history, and your boy has a vote. Yeah, that's me. Probably
not this boy.
Yeah, because I got a radio. I think it's probably because did you know Did you know I had a radio show?
You don't shut up about it.
So we're going to go on the bonus show and talk about the 25 greatest MLS players of all time. It's going to be fun. It's going to be
so basically I get to pick your vote.
I will maybe commit to that. We'll see how I feel.
I get to have heavy interest in your vote.
You are consulting on my vote. That's 100% true.
So my main thing is to convince you not to pick in any way Giovanni Dos Santos, who is on the nomination ballot somehow.
Well, that's the thing we get to debate is why people are even on the ballot. We can definitely do that. So if you are, if you want to listen to that bonus show, you have to go to patreon.com/JD and the Rod to sign up.
Joey Franchino got robbed.
A couple of bucks a month to get access to the stream with all the bonus episodes. Sometimes we talk nonsense and make up dumb jokes and or talk about like parenting and whiskey and Nick eating Toledo. I don't know. We talk about stuff. It's like a bunch of stuff. Or sometimes we talk soccer. In this case, we're going to talk about soccer. So JD and the Rod on Patreon.
25 Galaxy players that to convince Jason on. I'm ready.
Yeah, okay. By the way, the other thing to note is that your support on Patreon is what helps us kick some cash over to Nikki Soup and Sausage, who does an amazing job of helping us put the show together every week.
It might be what pays Matt Coyote to do our logo.
It might pay Matt Coyote to do our logo, depending on how you guys do on your submissions. And by the way, you can send those to hit us up on Twitter with them, I guess. Davis JSN, J Rodius,
or share them on Instagram. We can share the images there.
Yes, besties, the best soccer show on Instagram, and we need to pick that up. By the way, the Instagram game needs to improve dramatically. Well,
I put my calf out there. I don't know more I can do.
Oh, man, that was on the JD and the Rod account. We've switched accounts.
Okay, all right. I need to put a thirst calf out. I'll see if I can put a thirst calf out this week.
All right, we're gonna go do bonus show stuff. Mr. Dubois, anything else to tell the people? Any other parting words of wisdom? Any nuggets of gold that you want to hand out?
Pray for a good Tuesday.
Okay, yes. Let's all yes. Please exercise your right to vote.
That's safe Tuesday.
Let's everybody have a safe week in general all the way through. All right, we're out of here. Thanks to Nikki Soup and Sausage again. We'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.
And or hello.
Danger zone.
I wouldn't be caught dead in a sweater vest.
Finish it.
I wouldn't be caught dead in a sweater vest.
Who asked those questions?
Ja, zu viel Respekt für die Gegner.
Finish it.
What are we doing?
Oh, how did I spend that much money?
Eddie, what have you done?
Damn, dog, that's in a approach. Damn, dog.
J. Rodius.